welcome to another day of LeetCoding here live with me, LeetCode Live, daily LeetCode streams with your host, Raphael. Hope you've all been having a great weekend. I'm excited to jump right back into it like we've been doing. Again, if you're here, this is your first time maybe watching, you're trying to figure out what this stream is all about, what my intent is here. Pretty much what I'm doing is I gave myself a goal of doing every single question on LeetCode. And I know that sounds wild, but you know what? It's a goal. It's a fun thing to try and do. And so far I've been doing it. I've been doing daily streams for just a little over, actually it's been 3 weeks as of yesterday. So 3 weeks, been doing daily streams over here at 138 questions. And if you've been following me since day one, right? If you've been following me since the first video I did, let me just show you what I mean. I have this playlist here on my YouTube channel, LeetCode Live Easy Collection. You can watch each one of these streams. If you've been following me since the beginning, we'd be at 138 questions right now. Now let me give you a brief intro to what these streams do. Each one of these different streams, you can watch one for the different days. Really what I do here is I go through questions. I have a list of chapters for easy navigation, and I also have a link to all the different questions that we cover. So if that sounds interesting to you, that's something that you want to try out, then by all means, give it a go, log in, do these questions, watch the videos, get better with me, and then let's just do all the questions together, right? That's the intent. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So we left off yesterday on page 2. It's exactly where we're gonna continue from today. You may have noticed I've been experimenting a little more with streaming. I'm trying to get a little more into the ecosystem. It's been a lot of fun. I have some goodies I'm trying to sprinkle onto the stream to sort of keep you all more engaged. I know the community has been really great. Like yesterday we had 5 people on chat, which I think was awesome. And I know there's other streamers that are going to be doing more, but for the amount of time I've been doing this, I'm really happy with sort of this community that I've built so far. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to go to easy. I'm going to sort it by acceptance. And let's go. That was I already on page 2? I forget. Okay, I was right here. All right. So let's go ahead and keep it going. I think the first one we have today is this one, projection area of 3D shapes. Now you may have seen the title of this and been like, what Stack Overflow question is he talking about? And we're going to get to that when we get to this one down here, single number. So I at least want to be able to get to this LeetCode question right here. And that way you can see what this whole Stack Overflow thing is all about. Let me just very quickly look at overflow thing is all okay, because I have to make sure the audio is coming through, so I just wanted to double check that real quick. All right, so let's come here. This seems like a terrible question, right? Starting off, not very good, a very low, like the like to dislike ratio is crazy. But let's see what it says. We may skip this, we may not. Let's see what it's asking us to do. Maybe it's not too bad. So we're given an n by n grid where we place 1 by 1 by 1 cubes that are axis aligned with x, y, and z axis. Each value v equals grid ij represents a tower of v cubes placed on top of the cell ij. To view the projection of these cubes into the x, y, y, z, and we view the projection of these cubes into the x, y, y, z, and zx planes. Okay. So 1, 2, so if I go to like grid I, let's see, 0, we have 1, 2, and 3, 4. What is it that we have here? We have these different cubes right here. Here are the 3 projections, shadows of the shape made with each axis aligned plane. So what do they actually want for us to do here? Return the total area of all 3 projections. Is it just going to be, let me see something, because each one of these is, do they maybe just want us to add all the different heights together? This gives us a 4. This gives us maybe like a, no, this must be, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 3, a 1, and a 2. 4 times 3 times 2. No, that's probably not what it is. Here are the 3 projections, shadows of the shape made with each axis aligned plane. All right, let's see. Projection is like a shadow that maps our 3-dimensional figure to a 2-dimensional plane, viewing the shadow when looking at the cubes from the top, the front, and the side. Return the area of all 3 projections. Here are the 3 projections. Is this doesn't make any sense to me. Well, you know what? luckily for us, we have something called a weekly roundup. And because this question has such a, like, so many people dislike this question, I think we'll skip it for now since it doesn't maybe add too much value to the stream. And, you know, as much as I do, like, I'll say one thing. We're never gonna go to medium questions. Like, let's say we do all the easy questions. I'll never go to the medium questions until we do every single easy. Like, that is one thing I'm sticking to. But for now, let's just go ahead and see if we can try and find more high quality questions. Let's see this next one here. Perhaps this one's better. Okay, 714 to 22. That's more like it. Okay, so a string is good if there are no repeated characters. Given a string S, return the number of good substrings of length 3 in S. Note that if there are multiple occurrences of the same substring, every occurrence should be counted. A substring is a contiguous sequence of characters in a string. Okay, and it wants us to return substrings of no. Ooh, okay. So I think already this might be a sliding window problem because we want to consider multiple contiguous substrings. But wait, since maybe the sliding window just has to be, this one might be easier because the sliding window is fixed. So the sliding window pattern is this one where you might be increasing, let's say like we just have this one to start off with, right? So in the sliding window problem, what might happen is you'll have like I and then let's say J, right? Where this is the beginning and end of your sliding window. In more advanced problems, this one will increase by some amount and then you have to figure out some condition that this one then goes forward. But I think maybe this one is not too bad because we're only considering, it's like a fixed length window, right? So it might make it a little bit easier. And let's see if that makes sense. So we kind of have, how many substrings of size 3 that we have? It's also nice that it's contiguous. We don't have to worry about, like, we don't have to consider like X, Z, and A, for example. So here we have what? X, Y, Z, right? And then we have Y, Z, Z. We have Z, Z, A. And we have Z, A, Z, right? And I did this on purpose because this kind of shows how this window will slide through the entire input string. Just one second. I'm going to have a sip of water here. Got to stay hydrated, folks. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna figure this out. We already know sort of like how to do this, and maybe I'll want to start the question off by, I want to start the question off by seeing if we can just figure this out, because we also need to, if there are no repeated characters. So I think what we can do, something that helps us keep a set of distinct characters or values is a set, right? So what if we initialize a set? We start off by initializing our first set to the first 3 characters. And then anytime, for example, if this set has a size of 3, these are all distinct, right? And then we go to the next one and we also remove the next one. And then we end up with this. So we add to the set the next character and then we remove the first character. So I think that's sort of like how I want to go about this question. I think that's a good way that we can approach this. So let's see if we can put this to code, right? Let's think about this. I want to first construct a set based off my first 3 values. Like I'll need to have something to go off of. Unless, and maybe even not. Maybe we can always say, let's say we start at X, Y, Z, Z, A, Z, right? We have our start here. Let's say this is our end and this is our start. So this can only be of size 3 characters. So that means 0, 1, 2. We always want these to have a distance of 2. So we can increase end, right? Like 0 minus 0 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1, 2 minus 0 is 2. So then here we sort of like stop and then we do something, right? Because the length in between them is 2. So maybe we can kind of use that to our advantage. So let's do something like const, let's say distinct will be equal to a new set. And then let me think about this. How is it that I would like to do this? We can have, I think I want to create 2 pointers, like let end equals 0, let start equals 0. here, while start is less than s dot length. That's like the first thing that we want to do, right? So start is less than s dot length. Actually, I think this should be end. While end is less than s dot length. Here we could do, I wonder if I should first, yeah, we can say if end minus start equals to 2, here we'll say do something, or we can increase m++. So let me remove all this and let's consider this input string again. It's very important that we draw these things out, right? It helps cement all this a little bit more into your head. This is something that I've learned a lot doing these streams, that if you're in an interview setting, absolutely take the time to talk things out and draw things out. That's really where you're going to get the most benefit. So, okay, while end is less than s dot length, yes it is, we can increase. So if end minus start equals 2, 0 minus 0 is 0, so we don't do anything, we increase end. But every time that we increase end, we should also add distinct.add s at end, right? So I also want to, while I'm doing this, I'm also going to be adding, right? We're going to add x here, because distinct.add s of 0, and then we increment s, or rather increment end. If end, which is 1, minus 0 equals 2, which is not, right? Now we're going to add our y to our set. We're going to increment z. If z minus start, so if 2, I keep saying the letter instead of the number. If end, so 2 minus 0 is 2, do something. 2 minus 0, yeah, is 2, do something. So now I just realized that I think we should add this first, right? Distinct.add s of end. So we'll get to z, because we're going to add this one. Now we're going to see, okay, this is equal to something. End minus start is equal to, so that means we have this sort of window of size 3. Now what is it that we want to do? Why don't now we say here, if end minus start equal to 2, inside of here we should be able to say if distinct.size is equal to 3, let's say also we have good equals 0. Here we can say good plus plus. Good plus or equals 1, right? Because x, y, z, these are all distinct. It's of size 3, which means this is a good string. Now what is it that we want to do, right? The next thing we want to do, like end is going to increase anyway. But we also want to make sure that we sort of like increase this one and also increase our start. So I think now after this, like every single time after this, it should always be 2 apart. So we can always do that. So let's sort of like figure out what we just did right here. We're going to essentially remove the one that we just considered. So I wonder if maybe here, what is it that I want? Do I need to add? Yeah, I think I want to remove. How can I get ready for the next piece before I increment? Yeah, I think we can do, let's see. Because I want to pop off, or I want to delete the one at start. But then when I increment this, I need to add this one. But then I need to do the same for this one. I need to delete the z, come over here and add the z. So maybe we can just say, like I know there's a nice way of doing this without having to be so, not hard-coded, but what's like a more generic way I can do this. I can keep adding. Let me backtrack here again and think about this. And the reason I'm backtracking is because I want to think of a more generic solution to this. I feel like right now you can see that I'm sort of just like being very, very hard-coded. What is it really that we want to do? We're going to increase end. And I think really, what if I just start off with s and end? What if I just start off with adding these 3? Because we're going to remove one, we're going to add one. We're going to remove one, we're going to add one. Or let's actually think about what we do when we're writing it out ourselves. We do x, y, z. When we do y, z, a, right, we only remove the first one, and then we add the next one. So anytime it's equal, let me see, do I actually remove x, y, z, a, distinct.add a. So maybe here we just have to do distinct dot, and let me just remember the API of the set. Instance methods of a set, is it delete? Oh yeah, it's delete value. So distinct dot delete s of start, right? Because we already found this one. We delete the one that's at start, so that removes the x. And then we do start plus plus. So it puts the s up there. We do m plus plus, and we add z. Okay, so maybe this is not too bad. Maybe this is actually what it is. Let's once again go over the whole thing. If you watch my streams a lot, you know that I do a lot of this where, oh, hey, I found you yesterday. And I am joining you on the journey. I am from Miramar, Florida. I noticed you're from Florida as well. Wow. Marvin, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm also from South Florida. So Miramar, I'm not too far from Miramar. It's good to find a fellow LeetCoder. I'm glad you're joining the journey. I hope that these streams genuinely help you. That's really like my intent with these. So yeah, looking forward to hearing about your progress, and I hope to see you around more often. Yeah, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Always good to have fellow people on the chat. Okay, cool. I don't want to necessarily ask for you to subscribe, but the only reason I would for this specific stream is because I added alert boxes to the stream, and I'm very curious to see what happens if you subscribe to the channel. I don't know if you already have. Maybe you did when I wasn't streaming, so you weren't able to see the alert box. But if you haven't, and if you do want to subscribe, I'd be very happy. But I'd also love to see the animation come up on the stream, and you'll sort of be the first one to try that out. So I think that's kind of neat. If you want to give that a go, all you got to do is click on subscribe. Anyway, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. All right, so let's try this out. We have this right here. Let's imagine we have our end and our s. So start and end, and now I'll come down here to do my set. So I have and joined the Discord as well. Awesome. I love that. Double whammy. Thank you so much. So end minus s dot length. We're going to add the thing that's at end. So we'll add x here. Now we say if 0 minus 0 is 2, which is not, so we don't even come inside of here. Now we just do m plus plus. Distinct.add s of end, so we add y. Is 1 minus 0 2? It's not. So we just do m plus plus. We add z. All right, is 2 minus 0 2? Yes, it is. If distinct.size equals 3, which it does, now we say good equals 1. So I'll just put good equals 1. Now we're going to delete the thing that's at start, right, which is the x. We're going to increment the s. And now we're going to increment the end, and we'll add another z. Now when we try to add a z, right, we try to add a z. There's already a z in here. So it's not equal to 2. Now do we want to go n plus plus? I don't think we do, right? Like even if it's not, let's see, if end, so this is 2. Oh, but that's fine. It is still equal to 2, but it's not 3. So we delete the start, which means that we delete y. We do start plus plus, and now we do n plus plus. Now we add the end, which is a. Okay. Cool. They're apart by 2, but the distinct.size is not equal to 3. So we delete the start, which is the z. We do start plus plus. And then we do m plus plus. We add another z. So it's a z. They're apart, but it's not equal to 3. So we do start plus plus, m plus plus, and that's already out of bounds. So that's good, because so far going through this question, we see that we got the right answer for what we have here. So let's go now to the next one. Hopefully you're all seeing how I'm doing this. So let's do this. Let's remove our set, and let's start again at 0. All right, so if end is less than s dot length, yes it is. We're going to go ahead and add end. So we're going to add a. This is false, so now we just increase our end. We're going to add another a. We're going to try to, but it's not distinct, right? So it's still our set's going to be 1. This is false, so we just do n plus plus. We get to b, we can add the b. Now these are 2 apart, but this is not size 3, so we just delete what's at s, which is the a, and we increment the a, increment the s, and we also increment end. We add s of end, which is a. These are 2 apart, but this is not size 3, so we delete what's at s of end, which is a. We increment s, and we increment e. Again, distinct.add s of n, which is a b. We already have a b. These are 2 apart. These are 2 apart, but they're not. It's not distinct, right? So distinct.delete s of start, which is b. So we delete the b. We do start plus plus, e minus minus, or e plus plus. Distinct.add s of n, which is c. Okay, these are 2 apart, but this is not size of 3. So we delete what's at a, which there's nothing there. We do n plus plus again. So we do, or we just try to delete that, not there. So we increment this, n plus plus. We add the a to here. All right, distinct add s plus plus. N minus start is 2, but this is not size 3. So we delete the b, which there is no b. S plus plus, e plus plus. We add the b. These are 2 apart, and this is distinct. So we get 1. So right now, oh, wait a second. BCA. Oh, okay. ABC, BCA. Did we just completely miss this piece right here? ABC. Yeah, so definitely doing something wrong here. Because we missed that whole spot right there. I wonder how we would not have not caught that. Let's go through this again and let's construct our strings. We're doing AAB, then we're doing ABA, we're doing BAB, ABC, that's one of them, BCA, that should be the other one, CAB, that's the other one, and then again ABC. So how did we not catch these? Because we're adding. So let's see. We essentially increment this every time, AAB. And now what am I doing? I'm deleting this A and I'm adding the next A, right? It's of size 2, it's not good, so I delete S of start, which is the A. I increment start, increment this one. So now we should have ABA. Right, because we should still have, oh, but is it always going to delete? Will that only delete the, will that, if I delete A, but there's like 2 A's inside of there, will that delete all of them? No, but I think that should be fine, because we'll only ever get to that point. Yeah, let me go over this one more time. I know we're very close because I've done a question like this before. We're just like tripping over minor details here, but this is a very good pattern for us to understand. So AAB, so n minus s dot length, distinct dot add s of end. All right, we're gonna add AAB. So we'll add A. We can't add another A, so we'll just get to the B. These are 2 apart, but it's not this one, right? So then we remove the A, we increment S, we increment E. We add what's in E, which is an A. These are not 2 apart, so we delete the A from start, increment S, increment B. We add the B, which we can't because there's already one in there. These are 2 apart, but it's not distinct, so we remove the B. We increment E, increment C. Now here, I should be able to add. I think, yeah, there's something that I'm messing up here. Because when I remove something from this set, let me just have another sip of water. Every occurrence should be counted. String is good if there are no repeated characters. I feel like really a set is the way to go. But perhaps I'm not. AAB. Here I'm only removing the first instance of A. I shouldn't remove all instances of A. Right? I should only pop off one. And I don't wanna have to make a set every single time. Is there a better way for us to do this? Every occurrence should be counted. And even if we go to, I know we're so close here. I know we're so close. Hi, maybe just slice the string and check if length set of substring equals 3. I'm not good in JavaScript. Oh, hey, what's up, man? It's good to have you back. Maybe just slice the string 031425 and check if the length set of substring. Yeah, no, that's probably a way of doing it, but I really feel like this. I feel like that's essentially what the sliding window does, right? I mean, we definitely could do that. That's definitely a way of doing it, but I really want to figure out this way. Let's try it out that way. Let's try it out that way, and then let's see what happens. So if we did let good equals 0, we can say for let I equals 0, I less than. We want it to be s.length minus 2, right? That way, if this is like s.length is here, minus 1 is here, minus 2 is here. So this I can be here, and we can consider the other 3. Yeah. Here we can just say const sliced equals s.slice of from I to I plus 2 if it's not, maybe not the prettiest, but if new set of sliced, let's see, new set dot sliced dot size equals to 3, good plus or equals 1. Return good. Let's see if this works. Oh wait, I didn't put the incrementer, of course. Zero and 1. Const slice is s of slice I plus 2. Oh, but it doesn't include 0, 2, 0, 1, 2. This should be I plus 3. Because it includes everything but the last one. Right, exactly. Yep, look at that. Let's try this out. Still 0, 1. Let's see, slice from I to I plus 3. If new set of sliced dot size. So if we start, let's see what our different slices are here. XYZ, YZZ, ZZA, ZAZ. Okay. XYZ, we create a new set of sliced. Is it complaining because I'm passing this in as, can we actually, if I do let s equals new set ABC, I think that's just going to be a single. Oh, it actually makes it into 3 separate ones. Interesting. I didn't know that. Let's see if we just do this. Okay, 1 and 1. If this works, I guess that's okay. I'm not in love with this answer because I know for sure, not because I've done it before, but this just seems like a perfect candidate for a sliding window. And I think instead of having to create a new set every single time, we can add or remove from the set as we're going along. But that's good. I mean, hey, we solved it. That's cool. I would like to get back to this one. Let me like this, add it to the list. I think it's really good. Let's remember to, I'll put this on my notes or something. Let's do, yeah, because I think it's good for us to come back to this one. If we submit it again, let's see what our time complexity is here. $79.68, so it's still not really too bad. Let's think of the time complexity. I think really, for all intents and purposes, like even though we're not traversing the entirety of the array, it's only like 2 more that we'll be left with at the end, and it seems like kind of a constant minute point. So that might be O of n. For every single n, we're also doing, we're creating this slice, which is always fixed. So maybe that's just constant because it's not being altered by the size of the input, right? Like this is always going to be a slice, because typically with slice that can vary depending on the slice you're getting, but this slice will always be constant. It doesn't matter the size of the string. So I think this right here is just O of 1, and the same thing goes for the set. Like the set is not really n because it doesn't change depending on the size of the string. That's also constant. It's always going to be a new set from 3 characters. So I think because of that, I'm comfortable saying this is a linear time algorithm. These are both constant time operations. So we can sort of leave it at that. And the space complexity here, we're creating again a fixed sized set for every single iteration. So yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if the overall space complexity, would that just be constant too? Or will it be n, because we're creating sets of size 3 times everything inside of our array, right? Like 3 times n. Maybe it's just linear space complexity. Sweet. Let's go to the next one. But we will revisit this one. I think sliding window is something I don't have too much practice with, but it'll be good for us to see this. All right, let's go to the next one. Our unofficial mascot down here. Ooh, wow. This is horrendous. Do we skip it? Let's read it, and then we'll figure out if we need to skip it. You're given an array of n strings strs, all of the same length. The strings can be arranged such that there is one on each line, making a grid. For example, strs is abc, bce, and cae. This can be arranged as ABC, BCE, CAE. You want to delete the columns that are not sorted lexicographically in the above example. Columns ABC and CEE are sorted while column BCA is not, so you would delete column 1. The grid looks as follows. Okay, columns 0 and 2 are sorted, but column 1 is not. So you need to delete one column. AB, the grid looks as follows. AB, column 0 is the only one. Okay. So I think what we could do here, can we just traverse this entire thing? Like for every column, look at all the rows. So what I'm thinking of doing here, this one looks nasty. Yeah. It probably is nasty. It definitely is nasty. But I think one thing we can do is, like, we want to essentially make sure that these are like monotonically increasing. I think it always needs to be, can it be not sorted? PCA is not, so you would delete. So I can go through each column in all the rows. So I want to do 0, 1. Let me just like 0, 1, then I want to do row 1. No, I want to do row 0, column 0, row 1, column 0, row 2, column 0. Then I want to do row 0, column 1, column 2. Yeah, so I can have something like this, right? This is going to be essentially my loop. And then we'll again have the same thing over here. Let me just copy this. 2, 2, 2. I think what we want to do is for every single one, really we just need to make sure that the next one is greater than the previous one. And if at any point it's not, we can just break out of this inner loop and increment our number there. That's sort of like what I'm thinking about doing. I can take like the character code of this. Now, if I do, can I, how does, let me see. Can we say like D greater than C? But if I say C less than D, okay, that's still true. So that's some other JavaScript stuff happening in the background there. But let's see. Let's set up our loop first, right? So 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 0. So I'll set this up like for let. I'm going to do columns outside. For column equals 0, column less than str's dot length. Column str's dot length. Oh, but wait, this is not actually. No, yeah, that should be fine. Column less than str's dot length, column plus plus for let row equals 0, row less than str's dot length, row plus plus. Now, do we want to start? Do I even want to start at this one? I can always start at row 1, right? I can always start at row 1 and just compare it with the previous one, I think. Right, so I can do column 0, row 1. So let's say const car will equal, let's think about this. Now we got to see how we actually do this. Column's going to be the second one, and that's essentially going to be I need to figure out the way to map this. So I want to get the thing that's at column 0 at row 1. So I should be able to say strs of row column. Right, so the character here will be strs, which is this array at row 1, which is here, column 0. And the previous one, maybe I can say const current car is this, and const previous car is the same thing, but just row minus 1. Here we say if, let's also get the car codes, right? Like current car code equals current car dot car code at 0. Can do the same thing for previous car code, previous car. Let's do this, and now we can say if current car code is less than previous car code. What do we say for this one? Because if I break, right, like here, if I break, it'll just break out of this entire loop, right, and go to the next one. Now I forget if, yeah, I don't want to execute anything down here. I only want to, like here, I can say, let's say let min deletion equals 0. Is learning patterns the best way to start learning? Yeah, I think that's definitely one thing you can do. There's like a nice website here. Let me see if I can find it. 14 patterns. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one on the YouTube chat. But a cool thing here, this one's nice because see, look at this sliding window. That's exactly the one that we were just trying to do, right? I'm gonna send this to you on the YouTube chat. Oh, I gotta sign into chat here? Oh, I don't want to sign in midstream because I don't know. I'm afraid something will happen to the stream. But look up 14 patterns to ace any coding interview question. This is just a really nice way of doing this and like learning about these different patterns. I think it's very beginner friendly, so that's cool. Hopefully that helps. So if the current car code is less than the previous car code, maybe here I can get a flag. So I can say let sorted equals true. Here I can say sorted equals false and break. And then after this for loop, I can say if sorted min deletion equals 1. Although it's saying that if not sorted, right? You want to delete the columns that are not sorted. So sorted true, sorted false. If not sorted, min deletion equals 1. So let's like go over this and try and figure out what it is that I'm doing, right? I know that like for each row, I want to check the column, right? So I put my column outside because that's the thing that's going to sort of like grow more slowly. It's going to be this 0, 1 out here, right? And the row is the thing that will grow faster. It's always going to be 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So for any one of these, if we look at this, it's a column 0, row equals 1, right? So I'll go to STRS of row 0 of row 1, column 0. All right, so STRS, we're going to go to 1, which is here, column 0. I'm going to compare it, or I'm going to get STRS of 1 minus 1, which is 0, so row 0, column 0, and I'll compare these, right? So I'll say if current car code is less than previous car code, so if D, which I know is higher, is less than C, so that's fine, we don't do anything. We just go to the next one, row equals 2, and now we get the previous one, that's still greater, so that's fine. We finish this for loop and we don't do any min deletions. Here we should do min deletion plus or equals 1, and then we get to the next one. So now column will equal 1 and row will equal 1. So we'll go to column 1, row 1. I'll say at row 1, column 1, I compare these, right? So now I say if A is less than B, right? If A is less than B, sorted equals false, and we can just immediately break, right? We don't even have to continue the rest of the loop. And then we'll say if not sorted, min deletion plus or equals 1, and we just return the min deletion. So let's see if that will work. Just go ahead and return min deletion down here. So we have this. Okay, let's try it out. Taking a while. 1 and 1. 0. Current car code at 0 of undefined. So for what input did that happen? Was it the AB? Maybe it's the AB because I'm starting at 1, but I shouldn't be, right? I should always be comparing A and B. So if I start at row 1, yeah, it should be fine. If I start at row 1, so I'll say this is 1, column 0, which is here. If I compare it with row minus 1, 0, column 0. Okay, and then I go to row 2, 0, 1, 2. Row less than, no, it won't be. So I break out of here. I go to if column is O, and then I go here, but then I'm also starting at, okay, so I always want to, let's see. Can we do it the other way, that maybe I just go starting at 0? Like I only want to do this, sort equals true if column, if we're already at the end. So let's see, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2. This is row, row, row. So if we're at 2, I still want to. So wait, when does this happen? It happened because we got to 1. It happened because I got to 1 and I tried to get. Wait, okay, I'm confused now. Let's see, was it this one that it failed for? Current car.car code at 0. So current car is STRS. So we started at row 1. This is 0, 0. STRS of row, that's 1, column 0. Right? And then STRS row minus 1. Okay, but then we got to column 0, or column equals 1, row equals 1. Something I'm messed. Set both call and row to 0. I don't know if that will, like, that could work, but the thing is I also have this condition here, so I need to I don't think it'll work for, like, I'm gonna need to change something here if I make that the case. Maybe instead of starting at here, do we just go to strs at length -1 so I can get the next one? I always have to make sure that the next one, yeah, it's a small edge case here. Let me think about this again. I want to use this example here. I think this one's nice. Actually, let me do this one. So I have this, we have this. Okay, so let's say when I get to the last one, so when column is 2, I start row at 1. Okay, so I say if row of 1, strs of 1 column 2 here is less than this one, okay, that's fine. Then I go to row equals 2 at column 2 less than that one. Okay, that's cool. And now we get to 3, but that's already not less, so that's fine. And the next one, and this one's breaking because why? I think if I draw it out, so I start here, column is 0, okay, and row is 1. So I say go to 1, 0. The previous is just row -1. Okay, so that definitely should work. That's going to do its calculation. Then it's going to go row plus plus, which will be 2, and that won't be less than strs.length. So then we go to column is 0. Oh, this should only go as far as strs0.length. That could be the case because I'm trying to go to, yeah, the length of this is 2, but I'm trying to go to a column that's not there. So let's try this out. I think that could work. Assuming this is like, okay, 0, 0. This is very, yeah, exactly. This is very similar to the question we did yesterday, 0, 1, 3, or 1, 0, 3, 1, 0, 3. What's the one that we did yesterday that had something similar with, let me see if I can remember real quick. Remove all adjacent duplicates, lucky numbers in a matrix. I forgot the one it was, but it was like we had to traverse a 2D array in a very specific way. Let's run this one. Okay, 68.18, cool. I mean, I'm happy that we solved it despite the like to dislike ratio. I'm happy that we did that. I thought that was pretty cool. Let me submit it one more time. All right, so in this case, like, we're pretty much going through every single character in the array. I mean, there's some optimizations that we can make. We know that these are not going to be the same. Like, strs.length could be different than the size of strs. So for that reason, I'll say m by n, where m is the size of strs, and then n is the size of the length of the string inside of each one of those. Let's see the solution or the discussion. Probably going to be some like, oh, linear time solution, or just keep count. It's always some crazy thing like that. Keep count of letter A, and you'll figure it out. Let's see. Python count unsorted. Okay, C++ brute force. If this guy right here that has like a crazy amount of points did it brute force, then I'm happy. Yeah. Okay, that's very similar to like what we did, so that's cool. Plus res break, and then return res. Yeah, this part right here, break and return res. I think here we can just do, let's just do this. I'm not sure, right? We can just do that, min deletion, break, return min deletion. We can remove this piece. Let's try this out. Okay, submit. This might give us an edge because we removed that extra check. Okay, yeah, we got a little bit better there, so that's cool. Awesome. I'm gonna put on my AC real quick, but I do want to try something on the stream. I'm just gonna step out for like a second. I added like music to the different scenes, so when I leave now and I change the scene, just like drop a message in the chat and let me know if you hear the music. I'm just like super excited for this stream stuff, so I'm literally going to be back in like 20 seconds. All right, nice. Yeah, I heard from Rashawn that the music's playing, so that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's those little things that go a long way, right? And again, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like, I'm very excited about all these stream things. So I'm really hoping that someone subscribes or like follows me on Twitch, because the one other thing I added was alert boxes on my stream. So it would just be cool to see it actually happen live, because I was testing it on my own, but seeing the alert come up on the screen, I think would be cool. Yeah. So it's fun. You know, I joined the stream stuff pretty late, but it's really fun. I kind of get why people like to do it. Okay, minimum absolute difference. Let's see what this one's all about. You know what? I could. Like, I've definitely done TypeScript stuff before. I mean, I use TypeScript at work all the time, so we could do TypeScript for sure. And hey, you know what? Like, maybe this will actually serve us. This will maybe be more valuable because we're not only practicing TypeScript syntax, but we're also solving questions. So it's like a double whammy. So yeah, I like that idea. Let's go for it. Given an array of distinct integers, find all pairs of elements with the minimum absolute difference of any two elements. Return a list of pairs in ascending order. All right, so the minimum absolute difference is 1. List all pairs with difference equal to 1 in ascending order. This is going to be good. 1923, 23, 7. So I almost think that if we just sort this, it's going to make this way easier. That's like one of the first things. So I'm not saying this reminds me of a question called sort intervals or merge intervals, but it does in the sense that like we're creating these different pairs. I'm almost considering these like intervals. And I know with that one, if we sort it, it makes the question a lot easier. I haven't used TypeScript. Why not use TypeScript? Nah. Oh, I'm not sure of the nah part. Go first time to find what is the smallest diff. Go the first time to find what is the smallest diff. Let's see. We just find the smallest difference the first time, and then we can use that. Oh, wait a second, but it's saying find all pairs of elements with the minimum absolute difference of any two elements. Return a list of pairs of ascending order equals the minimum. So wait, so we just need to find difference equal to 1. Oh, I see what it's saying. Okay. It doesn't want us to include all the numbers. It just wants us to include the pairs that have the minimum difference. I see what you're saying. That makes sense. Thank you for that. That was a good hint. Cool. Let's see how we can figure this out. So let's just start off with like let's see this one. Now, how do we, because I need to know, like we need to know the minimum difference like for any number in here, like for all pairs, right? Because it can be 4, 2, it can be 4, 1, it can be 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3. So there's gonna have to be another way for us to figure this out if I want to do it in like a single pass. Because my gut would tell me to sort it, because then that would make it really easy for us to find the difference, right? Anything that has that difference after that, we can just return that. I think like I'm gonna go ahead and do that just to do a brute force solution, so we can at least get like a solution under our belt, and then we can figure out how to optimize it, because I think it's valuable to try both different ways. So let's actually try that out. So let's now see with TypeScript how this will work, right? So let's say const sorted will equal r.sort. Need to have the same order. Oh, is that what they want? 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, negative 14, 10. So wait, if we sort this one here, for example, need to have the same order of elements to return it or not. Let's see if I sort this. So negative 14, my bad. No, it's good, man. I mean, this is exactly why I like to do these live streams, because it's good for me to like talk to the community and hear your thoughts, right? Because I'm also learning with you all. So having these conversations is just like generally good, I think. So yeah, feel free to suggest things and we can try and do it on the air here. So yo, yuppie, yo. Hey, what's up? Let me tell you guys, like, when I was first starting to do these streams, I started like the first stream I ever did on Reddit, and there was like no traction. So I've been doing this for like 3 weeks now as of yesterday, and the fact that we have, I mean, there's 4 people watching, and this is by far the most activity I've ever had on chat. Like, that's very cool. So really appreciate you guys being around here. But yeah, let's try this one out. So we're gonna do const sorted. I'm gonna copy the input array and then we'll sort it. So does that mean that the minimum will necessarily be just like the first 2, right? So I can say min diff is equal to, we can say sorted at 1 minus sorted of 0, right? So we'll get 2. So we just want to return everything with 2. This is going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, everything that has 1. So now we can say it shouldn't be. You can slice it between sets. It shouldn't be. I'm not sure what that means when you say it shouldn't be. So let's do const result for let I, maybe we can start at 1, I less than sorted dot length, I plus plus. We can say if, let's see, if sorted at I minus sorted of I minus 1 is equal to the min diff, then result dot push. It just wants us to do, and we can have 1, 2, 2, 3. Yeah, so we can just push sorted of I minus 1 and sorted of I. Return results. Let's see what this gives us here. 0, 10, 11. Oh, interesting. Nice. I didn't type this shouldn't be. The minimum difference less than the max. Yeah, no, you're right. So we still need to find the minimum difference, right? Yeah, let's do that. That's a very good point. So maybe we can essentially do the same thing here. So let's try something here. Let's do this. Let's do infinity to infinity and beyond. So now let's just do min diff equals math.min of min diff or sorted of I minus sorted of I minus 1. Right, so let's say in that first one, it will be 10 minus 0, so that'll be 10. And then it'll be 11 minus 10, which is 1. So min diff is that. Equals min diff, result.push. Let's try this out. We should get the same answer, but then for like the example that you said, it will be different. Oh, of course. Of course. One, two, two, three, three, 4. Let's try some of the other test cases here. One, 3, 14, 10, 19, 23, 23, 27. Let's run this. It's going slow. Okay, 68%. I feel like LeetCode's going a little bit slow today, but this is probably not an optimal solution. I just feel like it's probably not. There's probably a better way for us to find the minimum, but let me submit this again. I just want to submit it to see if that percentage changes. You said you work in TypeScript. What kind of work do you do? I'm mainly a front-end developer. I've been doing when I say professional front end development, I mean I've had a career as a software engineer, as primarily a front end developer for the last 5 years. But I also do full stack work occasionally, which I think it's cool. I think it's good to have, like, try to get your hands dirty across the stack if you can. But at work we do Angular at work, and Angular really, like, out of the box, Angular is TypeScript. So I think just by that, I've been able to just get my hands dirtier with TypeScript. I think probably something that we can do here is find, if we can find the min difference. I mean, this is a linear solution. It seems pretty good to me. Maybe we can save time on one of these though. Set and pi are faster than lists. Angular is a beast. Angular is a beast. I'll tell you though, there's a lot of reasons to choose whichever framework you want. I feel like generally Angular could be good if you work in an enterprise company. You have a lot of different developers working on the same code base. Because it's opinionated, it forces some styles and some guidelines, right? Because of its opinionated nature. But because of that, it can sort of pigeonhole you in the sense that you're sort of bound to whatever Angular decides to do with their framework. You can only evolve as fast as they want to evolve. Whereas with something like React, the flexibility allows you to do a little bit more plug and play, right? So you can do things like, maybe you just want to use native window.fetch, or maybe you want to use something like React Query to make your HTTP request, or maybe you want to use something like TRPC, something a little bit more new. Or let's say maybe for state management, you want to use MobX or Redux, or what other flavors. So if you want to like prototype and move faster, React is probably better. It allows for more plug and play. And the cool thing is you can justify bringing in a new package to do something. If it makes like the developer experience better, it might help out your customers. So I think all that stuff's like pretty neat. Just depends on the needs of your business. That's what I think. But I'm learning every day. And that's the point, right? As long as we're learning every day, I think that's cool. I want to see what the discussions say here. I feel like, is the bottleneck going through this? Is the bottleneck sorting it? Like, do I need to sort it? I probably don't need to sort it, right? There might be a data structure that can keep track of this. Like, we can find the minimum difference better instead of having to sort it and then figure out. I wonder if we like drew these on a number line. I work in Microsoft and we are switching a bunch of Angular projects to Reacts. I don't know why though. Oh, that's cool. Microsoft's awesome. For the job market, which would you recommend to current job seekers at the moment? If I had to, I think Next.js is a really good framework to get involved with, because Next.js is still flexible, but it gives you a lot of quote unquote best practices out of the box. And it's a very progressive framework. I mean, the team like Vercel is constantly working on their framework. So I think if you want to get into the web, if you want to do, like, I think this is the best thing to go into. Their community is very strong. From what I know, it's a lot of very dedicated people working on this stuff, and it gives you just enough of a foundation to build out the projects that you need. So let's see. The minimum difference wouldn't need sort. Abs of 4.3 will always be the same as 3.2 or 2.3. Right, I guess, so going back to this question, hopefully that answers your question, Marvin. I'd be more than happy. Like, if you have any other front-end questions, I'll be more than happy to try and answer them for you. I definitely am passionate about front-end. And obviously, I realize there's so much to learn, which is fun. But yeah, let's think about this. So 4213. I guess, like, okay, if we don't need a sort though, like, I need to consider all numbers, right? Because I can do like 4.2 or I can do 4.1. Like, what if 2.1 was not next to each other and it was like 4.2.3.1? Like 4.2.3.1. This will be a distance of 2. Well, I guess this would still be a distance of 1. Let me see if I made this. How can I come up with an example that will make this not nice? Or maybe I'm figuring it out right here as we're talking. Does that mean there'll always be one next to another one? That's the minimum. What's the minimum here? This is 2, but this is already sorted. That's like a contrived example. So let's say here this is 5. Okay, this is what, like 18. This is another, let's say 10. That's 33 apart. This is 4 apart. I mean, should we just go for that and try it out and see what happens? I'm pretty sure we need to sort it. I feel like we do, right? I can't assume that some numbers, like that's the point of these examples. They're doing this almost to trick you, because this kind of like gives you a false sense of like all the edge cases. Let's see what discussions have to say here. Java sorting beats 100%. Okay, Python 3, n log n time for sort, and O of n space using sort. Okay, so I think we're on a good track here. I know it's going to be n log n, right? Because that's our bottleneck here. Our bottleneck is the sort. And in Chrome, like Chromium V8 engine, Chromium-based browsers using the V8 engine implement quicksort, which we know takes n log n for time. And our space complexity is going to be, did they say linear? O of n space? Yeah, this will be O of n, right? Because at the worst case, we'll have to push like many of these numbers. I think, does this represent all of them? 6. Let's see if we run this again. I feel like I'm happy with this one, but let's see. Let me see. Java sorting. The simplest way, sort elements and then check the difference of each pair of neighboring elements. Because of the sort, if you take any one element, the minimum distance will be between it and the next element only. Because every next element will be greater than a previous one. Thus the difference increases. The simplest approach to find the min difference is to scan the array, saving the current min difference and update it if we found a lower one. Right. However, I like to combine these two passes into one. We check for min difference as we go, adding to the result list every time our difference equals the min difference. When we meet a new min difference, we clear the result list and start a new one. Yeah, that's actually something we can do as well. But this is, I mean, this is the top answer, and it's pretty much exactly what we did. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that. You know what though? I do want to see something, because we were doing TypeScript before. Let's do JavaScript. If I just run this, 10.22. Okay, so like the first time we ever got a 94 is because I decided to use JavaScript, right? So my guess is TypeScript, I'm going to assume it probably takes longer to run because there needs to be a transpilation step, right? It needs to be transpiled to JavaScript and then ran. Whereas with JavaScript, we can just run that directly. For example, like if you're executing like a TypeScript program using like Node, you couldn't just do it with Node unless you first compile the TypeScript to JavaScript or use something like TS Node. I don't know if you guys know about TS Node, but TS Node's cool because instead of having to do like Node, like, you know, you can do Node and then like my JavaScript program, but using something like TS Node, you can just pass your TypeScript code directly to TS Node and it'll run for you. But there necessarily has to be a transpile step to go to JavaScript, and then it has to run the JavaScript. So it might take longer. See if it's in words 1. And if I subtract 1 from amazing and that equals 0, then I know it's inside, right? Same thing with LeetCode. If I subtract 1 and it's 0, I know it's a single instance. Nope. Live. I'm not sure what's happening. We're going to try and keep it going. We're going to try and save the stream here, guys. Let's see. Let's keep going. I'm not sure why this is happening. It's live now. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going and just let me know in the stream. Let me know in the chat if it happens again, and we'll try and figure out. I'm getting a warning on YouTube, but okay, that's good. Seems like we're back. That's awesome. Woo! Hey, there's a first for everything. After this, I'll research ways of trying to make that better. Okay, hopefully you guys remember what I was saying here before. We can essentially keep, we're back. Your voice it's cracking. Okay. My voice changed. Let's see. He looks like a stalker? It's like in that Scream movie. Oh man. That's funny. Let's see. Should I start a new stream? Should I start a new one? Maybe that will help. And we can have this as part 1. All right, let's try that out. Let's come over here and say, yeah, we're gonna start a new stream. Testing, mic. Testing, mic. It might still sound weird. Yeah, let's do, okay. Going to end the stream and start it again. See you all in a moment. See you all in a moment.